Welcome to Performing Data in Australasia, a project for researchers who are interested in utilising data from live performing arts databases. Kia ora, my name is Dr. James Wenley, and I'm a lecturer in theatre at Te Herenga Waka, Victoria, University of Wellington. Data as performance is about using data as source material in creative practice. Artists bring new insights by embodying and enacting data in performance. We are well and truly living in the age of big data. Data that contains greater variety is arriving in increasing volumes and with more velocity than ever before. But data is not neutral. It contains biases and prejudices. Data needs interpreters, or perhaps even storytellers. There are many works of theatre and performance which are about data. An apt example is Of All the People in the World by UK group Stan's Cafe, which uses grains of rice to represent the global population. In asking about data as performance, we are asking, how do performance practitioners meaningfully engage with data as part of our creative practice? And what role can performance practitioners play in interpreting and communicating data? Thinking about data as performance means thinking about inputs and outputs, what goes in and what comes out. When working with a data set, performers might need to ask, whose data is it? Where does it come from? Why is it collected? How is it displayed? What values are contained in the data and what might be missing? What stories does the data tell us? What stories can we tell from the data? Let's now look at some examples of how this might work in practice by examining a number of different works that engage with these questions. Verbatim or documentary theatre is a well-established methodology for performance makers working with data. Verbatim theatre actively acknowledges and draws attention to its sources. Artists working with this kind of data, which can range from first-hand accounts, diaries, newspaper reportage, Hansard, and so on, are continually forced to make choices about what data they present and what data they discard. A recent example of verbatim theatre in New Zealand is the haka party incident. The subject of the work is the 1979 conflict between a group of engineering students performing culturally insensitive haka and He Toa Māori activists who challenged them. This showdown marked a shift in race relations in Aotearoa. Director Katie Wolf both dug deep into the archives and also integrated haka and waiata, themselves important forms of historical and cultural memory. Wolf also generated new material by interviewing 38 people who were involved in the incident. The haka party incident uses a technique that is called received or headphone verbatim. This means that the actors wear earpieces and try to recreate not only the exact words of the subject they are representing, but also their intonations. Every and pause is recreated. Drawing attention to the play's sources through theatrical devices adds to the power of the play and underlines the importance of keeping this incident alive in our memories so that we might learn from it. Moving on, we can find examples of theatre and performance that engage with data in a different way by harnessing the power of technology. Algorithmic performance, as Annie Dawson has observed, shouldn't be confused with multimedia performance. Algorithmic theatre is something altogether different. It is performance that is created by the algorithms themselves and is not particularly concerned with forms of representation. In this conception, the algorithms become actors who perform. In Dawson's work Yesterday, Tomorrow, 3 singers are represented with a real-time, algorithmically generated score that gradually transforms the Beatles song Yesterday into Tomorrow from the Broadway musical Annie. Another established mode for using data as performance is motion capture technology. The Australian company Chunky Move, who specialise in dance, have been using these tools to create performance for decades. In Glow, described as a choreographic essay, a sophisticated video tracking system produced a digital landscape in response to the movement of a lone dancer. More recently, even the Royal Shakespeare Company has been harnessing the power of this technology. In 2021, the RSC produced a 50-minute live stream production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, set in a virtual midsummer forest, which saw a cast of 7 actors all performing in motion capture suits. 47 cameras filmed the performers in 360 degrees, capturing every movement that they made. Rimini Protocol are a company that has been working with data in their series 100% City, where they set off what is described as a statistical chain reaction. 100 participants, everyday people, are selected to represent their city. The work has been performed in more than 35 different localities. In 100% Melbourne, participants were chosen according to 5 statistical criteria: age, region of birth, family composition, residential location, and sex, with 8 additional filters also applied. Each individual chosen represented not only themselves, but 41,000 demographically Melburnians. The project is described by the company as a giant pie chart brought to life. In this sense, the participants in 100% City can be understood as embodying or performing a data set. As can be seen from these examples, artists working with existing data sets need to consider how the form of the data might influence the form of the performance. Artists working in this space will continue to be presented with new ways of collecting, harnessing, and processing data. And as open access artificial intelligence software becomes more sophisticated and accessible, new avenues for performance will emerge. In doing so, they will need to consider: what are the ethics of engaging with data performatively? And what does it mean to make art in a world where technologies have become themselves actors? A great deal of interesting work is surely still to come.